Ed Little served in the U.S. Army Air Corps during World War II and distinguished himself as a prisoner of war survivor and war hero. During his service to the Corps, Ed rose in rank to technical sergeant and was assigned to the 409th Bomber Squadron in the 93rd Bomb Group. He served as radio man on Marion, a B-24 bomber.
I was born March the 14th, 1916 in Kermit, West Virginia. After I was born, I was raised in the state of Kentucky, Harlan County. It's known then, known now, I think, the last time I read about it, Buddy Harlan. They averaged 60 killings a year. It wasn't back shootings, it was shootouts, facing each other. There you didn't shoot anybody in the back. You better not, you was in trouble if you did. I picked the Air Force because that's the place I wanted to be, and I was drafted into the military. Well, I was shipped to Keister Field, then was shipped back to Illinois. I can't even think of the name of the airfield now, over in Illinois, Scott Field. I shipped back there where I went to radio school. Then I was shipped out west where I got with a crew that I went overseas with. And I was a radio operator on the B-24.
In May 1944, after completing their 25th bombing mission over Hitler's Germany, B-24 Marion was hit by anti-aircraft fire over the Leipzig airfield. 2 engines burned as Marion and her 10-man crew slowly spiraled down into enemy territory. The crew, all except pilot W. Van Winkle, were able to bail out. Radio man Ed Little was the last man to parachute away.
Well, it's just a regular mission. We just happened to be lucky at the place, and they shot down. I don't know whether the other planes shot down or not, but we were out kind of by ourselves, and we got all the hits. And the plane was going down, I bailed out. The pilot went down with the plane. At the time, they showed me his dog tags. They were burnt black, where he was killed in the plane crash. And later on, I saw a shoulder patch where it had blood on it, so I don't know how he died. But he died in the plane crash anyway, whether he was shot as it was going down or what happened. They shot my parachute as I was going down. I fell about pretty close to 1,000 feet, free fall, and I went to the edge of a tree, a big tree, and landed on the hillside. And I went in with my right foot about 7 or 8 inches in the ground, and I crushed my ankle, and later on I lost my leg on account of got infection in it and they couldn't cure it. When I hit the ground, I looked straight across and I heard a racket, and I looked across, and just about on the same level I was on, there was a trail, and a man and a woman, there was a 2-wheel cart, and they were going by, and they had 2 milk cows pulling the cart. So I thought after they went by, I thought, well, there might be somebody else using that, and I couldn't walk. So I crawled over there, sat on the side of the road. They come back. The man and woman, I hollered at them. They passed me up. I hollered at them. They stopped. And they loaded me on top of they had a load of cordwood, and they loaded me on top of the cordwood. Took me out to the highway, and the bus stopped there. So they put me on a bus and they hauled me into a town, which Ruderbach, I think was the name of the town.
The surviving crew were rounded up by the Nazis and taken with other prisoners to a Hitler youth camp. Later, the POWs were sent to Frankfurt Interrogation Center. After 4 crews of interrogators were unable to force anything more than name, rank, and serial number from the crew, they were placed in solitary confinement.
Then I went to prison camp there, and in that camp I stayed the first night in the Hitler youth camp. That's where there's kids about 15 or 16 years old, all armed with automatic rifles and pistols. The camp was it was a new camp, and each camp was 4 squadrons, 4 compounds, we call them. And we were in the A camp. Then they started bringing in more POWs, so they moved some of us over to B squadron. And that's just right, we went into the barracks right straight across the way from where we were. And each one had their own separate barbed wire fence around it. Then there's a fence around the whole camp. You had to go through a barbed wire fence around that whole deal. Then within each camp they had rolled barbed wire around your walking path between you and the fence and besides the guards on the outside. Bunks were fairly comfortable. They weren't really comfortable, but they were fairly comfortable. And they had, they were all homemade. The Germans made them. Then when you first went into a new camp, you had a lot of slats. Then as they brought in POWs, they take the slats out of the bed. We ended up with about 6 slats to the bed. And so most of the mattress would go down in the cracks. You'd have very little cushion under you. But we made it. And we ended up as, I forget now, but I think the rooms were made for 10 or 12 men. We ended up with 20-some men. We had 2 little, like we called kitchen tables. We had 2 tables in each room, and we had guys that slept up. We put the tables together and just get 2 or 3 guys slept on top of the tables and 2 or 3 under the tables. Then outside they put huts with about 20 men in them. We call them dog huts. They're about the size of 1-car garage. When we were liberated, we got up in the morning and all the Germans were gone. Just a few of the commandants stayed, and the Russians liberated us. And then I was at Barth, Germany, and you could see Sweden, which is 30 miles across the water on a clear day. And then the officer of the camp, he was the only one left at the camp, and they found him floating in the canal after the Russians got there. I was very happy when I was liberated. Glad, of course we were treated pretty well. I mean, we were in a compound, but we weren't allowed to go anywhere or do anything. But physically, there wasn't anybody beat up or anything like that. Still don't talk about it. Even then, as you can tell, even when you ask questions, you don't get much of an answer. Brings back too many memories.
£50 lighter and beaten, but not broken, Ed Little returned home and was recognized for his heroism and service. He was awarded the Purple Heart. the Prisoner of War Medal, the World War II Victory Medal, the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Air Medal, and the Army Good Conduct Medal from the U.S. military and a grateful America.